or less. So candidates, if there's anything that you wanted us to cover that we didn't, do it in short form here. First up, Mr. Gardner.
Are these closing statements, or these are just...
These are closing statements.
Okay, thank you very much. You know, again, thank you to the organizers of tonight's event. I would like to thank my dad, my wife, my mom, and our 7-year-old daughter who are with us tonight. There are people in this room who are suffering under the policies of this government. There's a small business owner from Fort Collins, Colorado, who said, thanks to this health care bill that passed, he believes his health care rates for his business that employs 130 people will increase between 25 and 40%. We know that the government's own bureaucrats have said healthcare cost will increase on average 13%. And we know that we can do better in this country. We know that over the next 14 days, the voters are going to go fill out their ballot or go to the ballot box and decide what kind of a nation we're going to live in. Whether it's a nation of more government and less freedom, or whether it's a nation where we will continue to provide economic opportunity, to cut spending, to get our nation back on track. My background in rural Colorado, in a family farm equipment dealership, knowing that this fight is about my daughter and every boy and girl like her in this nation. My grandparents, during World War II, went to Portland, Oregon to weld ships, to weld Liberty ships, because they believed that they had to be a part of this nation's fight to restore democracy, to uphold democracy, to fight for freedom. And this election, we have a chance to go to the ballot box and do something that so many generations have done before us, to stand up for our freedom, to stand up for our liberty in a peaceful way, to make sure that opportunities that we were blessed with continue to future generations. We can do better in this nation. I'm Cory Gardner. I'd be honored to earn your support. We will win, and we will restore once again the greatest nation on the face of this earth.
Thank you, Mr. Gardner. Mr. Aden.
The more I study U.S. history, the more I recognize the brilliance of Thomas Jefferson. He once said, "I predict future happiness for Americans if they can prevent the government from wasting the labors of the people under the pretense of taking care of them." I couldn't agree more. That is why I stand for the principles of self-government, intending on limiting federal government, strengthening free markets, and protecting personal and property rights. For the future generations, I urge you, please vote for the candidates that will support liberty, justice, and prosperity for all.
Thank you, Mr. Aden. Ms. Markey.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming this evening, and I want to end with a short story. When I owned Huckleberry's, I had a favorite customer, Otto, who came into the store every day, and Otto would get either a cup of coffee or a bowl of ice cream and some soup. Otto was 96 years old, and he had Parkinson's disease, so every time he went to pay, his hands would shake when he was making change. And my own father had Parkinson's disease, and I remember how it robbed a very proud and independent man of his dignity. So we had a policy in my store. Whatever Otto wanted cost exactly $1, because after all, a dollar bill is easier to manage for shaking hands than loose change. And that is what I learned in business, that you can turn a profit, keep to a budget, and give a man his dignity, all at the same time. And if we can do that in business, then we can certainly do it in government as well. I talk a lot about my experience as a business owner because it defines who I am as a person. I spent 22 years in business, 24 years as a mother, and just under 2 as an elected official. I am blessed with 3 wonderful children, with a husband who has loved me for more than 30 years. I believe that we need to govern with faith in the fundamental decency of all human beings and with optimism for the potential of the future of this great country. I humbly ask for your vote this November. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Markey. Mr. Waskowitz.
The two major parties want you to believe that they have changed and are best to represent you. Yet they continue politics as usual, wasting money, manipulating our elections, and blaming each other, as you've seen, for everything. It's time we stop ignoring the problems that a two-party system creates. I believe that there are more people that are devoted to their principles and values than they are to a political party, and they've just been waiting for the time when someone will stand up for them. As your representative, I will not vote for any bill that takes away your freedom as an American, nor vote for any bill I haven't read. I will not vote along any party lines, especially against the overwhelming demands of my district. Nor will I vote to spend money that we don't have, which just adds debt to our children's future. And I will not put myself above anyone so I can seek a career promotion. I pledge to work for you to create jobs with my Colorado Energy Revolution, simplify the tax code with my flat tax plan, eliminate career politicians by enacting term limits, balancing the budget, reducing our federal debt, ending the influence of special interest monies in our elections, and focusing America on unity, not diversity. I stepped up against all odds to make a difference so that our children and grandchildren will not have to deal with the trillions of dollars of debt and the turmoil our country is in, created by the Democrat and Republican parties. I am not a politician and don't aspire to be one, and I am not seeking a career promotion. I am strong enough to represent the people of Colorado, and I need your vote to get this message to Washington. We have had enough. My name is Ken Waskowitz, and I would appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Waskowitz. All of our questions this evening have been for the candidates. A few questions for you, by applause. Who walked in tonight undecided? Did you decide? You did. Who walked in, decided, and reaffirmed your decision? You know, that's what the process is all about. Our thanks to the Fountains of Loveland Event Center, who have been wonderful hosts this evening. This Campaign 2000 event will be available on NoCo5.com and will air on NoCo5 television several times before the election. For information, go to NoCo5.com. Thanks to all of the people at Northern Colorado 5 who worked so hard to make this happen. Remember to watch NoCo5 News weeknights at 10. NoCo5 is committed to Northern Colorado. And to the candidates, to our panelists, to our audience, and to our viewers, thank you all for being part of the process that represents and defends the freedom of the citizens of the greatest nation in the world, the United States of America. I'm Keith Weinman. Good night.